Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Day 2 at the 2023 Men's NORCECA Continental Volleyball Championship, live on Volleyball Source. Match number 1 of the day features the national teams of Suriname and Cuba in this Group B battle in an effort to catch the United States at the top of the pool right now. Cuba won their first match yesterday over Puerto Rico. Suriname dropped a 3-setter in their NORCECA Championship debut to the USA. And we are just about ready to meet the two teams and get started this afternoon for the first match of the day. My name is Rob St. Clair, live on the Volleyball Source YouTube channel. Joined next to me, my very good Canadian friend, Everett Delorme.
I'm just here to edit video.
Everett is just hanging out next to me. He will be editing video, chiming in every so often. But we're excited to have you guys, excited to talk about these two teams for a second straight day now that we're starting to learn a little bit about both of them. We just met the Cuban starting lineup. It will be pretty different from yesterday. Osniel Mergurejo and Jose Suarez started outside hitters. Jose Carlos Romero at opposite. Levan Tabawada at setter. Romy Alonso, Alexis Wilson are the middle blockers. However, for Suriname, an identical starting lineup to what we saw last night. Anthony Leong and David Pinas, numbers 3 and 6 respectively, in the middles. Ethan Asimia and Kevin Sporkslade at outside hitters. Zefanio Breinberg at opposite. Lionel Mahabali at setter. And we expect to see both Surinese liberos. Anthony Schmeltz, number 8, and Jason Lesbrands, number 17.
Rob, in all my years of watching volleyball and all my years of going to NORCECA events, I have never once seen Cuba play the bench.
We were talking about that in our pregame show about an hour ago, Everett, and we brought up that exact same point, that it is a very good sign for Cuba to give their usual starters a bit of rest, intentionally play their bench to get them experience against a team that they still, in theory, on paper, should be able to beat. That is a good sign for the Cuban Federation under brand new head coach Jesus Cruz Lopez, ably assisted by our good friend Luke Reynolds this week. So there's some new voices, some new faces at the top of the Cuban men's volleyball team. And I think that is one of the big storylines this week, much more so than what's on the court for Cuba. It's who's on the sidelines.
Yeah. Tough go here for Suriname, really.
Very.
First you get USA, then you get Cuba. Like, we could have been a little bit nicer to them to start off this NORCECA championship, but hey, what can you do? It's another chance for them to impress. They impressed us both quite a bit yesterday, and quite a number of you in the chat as well.
Speaking about Suriname, yes, absolutely. So Suriname in red on the near side serving first, and it is Cuba on the board first as Alexis Wilson, 19 years of age, 6'10". A really promising physical prospect in the middle for Cuba. Apparently a converted track and field athlete is the intel that we've been getting. So he gets to start at middle for the Cubans in blue on the far side. Here is Levan Tabawada, the setter, to serve. We've seen a lot of play time this summer. And that ball is through the block and down. Suriname is on the board with opposite Zefanio Breinberg. Captain Kevin Sporkslade, number 7 in red. Keeping it low with the float serve for Suriname that time. Rotation 1 receive for Cuba, and Suarez on the right tries to wipe it out of bounds off the block. Does not get the touch. So Suriname takes that point, and a good time to remind you all that at this NORCECA Championship tournament, there is no challenge system. So if our 6 officials on the court don't detect something, it didn't happen. No challenges. Tabawada to the middle again, and the second kill in as many swings for Alexis Wilson. The 19-year-old functioning as the 3rd middle blocker this week. No Robert Landy Simon for Cuba. He has taken the summer off from national team play to heal up a nagging back injury. We will hopefully see him next summer. So Wilson gets a chance to get some play time here. Jose Miguel Suarez to serve. Look at that speed in the middle. Speed or lack thereof, I suppose. The height of that set to the middle is not something that we see all that often at this level.
It did give Pinas the ability to get up there, take a look around, and pick his spot. And I think he did so really well, too. I mean, he did swing at the libero, but hey, he got the kill out of it.
Got the kill. Let your best athletes go up and take a swing. I don't hate that. Cuba can take some notes from that every so often. As that time the captain, Osniel Margarejo, takes a swing on the left side, number 2 in blue. That ball is also called out of bounds, no touch. As we've seen already now, Cuba looking for fingertips on 2 swings and not getting either. 4-2 start for Suriname. Wow.
That's a slow clap if I've ever seen one. And if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
When there are various punishments in Everett and I's respective countries for serving the ball under the net, we'll
at the very least, he owes his team a round.
At least.
At the very least.
Here is Wilson.
Sporkslade.
Really good pass by Sporkslade. Dive and getting his hands underneath that.
I was walking behind him a little bit earlier as he was coming out to the court, and he's a unit.
He's big.
He's a big boy. He's just well built.
Yep, 6'6" outside hitters don't exactly grow on trees. If you have one who can move like he does and pass the ball like he does, you've really got something there. 2 straight service errors from Suriname that could be cleaned up a little bit.
And yes, I do realize it was a missed opportunity not to ask him if he spoke English and if we could do an interview with him, but we'll get him after the match.
Any of our Surinese fans in the chat, let us know which or how many of your players you think would be comfortable enough speaking English to get him on the broadcast after this match. Ace serve there for the brand new Cuban opposite this tournament, a guy we haven't really seen much before, Jose Carlos Romero, number 16 in blue, 24 years of age, 1m98. Saw him a little bit yesterday in the win over Puerto Rico. Getting feedback that Sporkslade does speak English. We can chat with him.
Great.
On the mic after the match. That would be great. Excellent pass there. Inside set. Breinberg gets his feet to it and finds space in between the triple block of Cuba to put it down out of the back row. Good piece of offense there.
Didn't exactly like that set decision there by Mahabali. I would have rather seen him just chuck it to the outside, but to Sporkslade, but Breinberg was able to get the job done nicely. Ooh.
3 straight service errors for Suriname, that time by Asimia, their other outside hitter. Ethan Asimia, 21 years of age, 1m89, wearing number 4 in red. Here is the captain for Cuba, Osniel Margarejo. He's been kind of the 3rd outside hitter for a good part of this summer, but make no mistake, this guy is world class. And that is an excellent block right there. As Suarez gets the block, but he comes down immediately holding his hand. That one might have jammed his fingers in a way that doesn't look very good right now. His teammates are checking on him. Yeah, Suarez looking at his left hand. He will block that ball. He's trying to shake that one off. So Cuba takes the lead 7-6. And Margarejo, as Everett and I know well, we cover all sorts of international volleyball here on the Volleyball Source YouTube channel. Margarejo, part of one of the greatest upsets really in volleyball history, as Milano beat Perugia in the Italian Superlega this year, an 8 seed beating a 1 seed in a 5-match series. Margarejo, a big part of one of the best club teams really in all of Europe and all the world this year. So Margarejo is the first guy off the bench. Pretty nice option to have if you're the Cuban team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, traditionally, up until this year, it's always been Lopez and Margarejo. The most times I saw Yant was when Lopez was on the right side. But then recently, it's really been a toss-up between the 3 of them, right? They're so talented. It's such a talented group. I've always found Margarejo to be the calmer of the 3, especially in service, even especially in defense, and maybe a little bit more mature. But maybe as they grow and get old, and that's especially with this Cuban core, is that they are relatively young too.
Right, they are.
And that we forget about that, but because how talented they are, right? If we're looking at this, like Margarejo is only 25, Romero's only 24. Like it's Lopez is 26, but Gorgat is 29.
Yeah, the backup libero, and then
we've never
Garcia,
seen
30.
him. He's 29 years old.
We only saw him when Garcia got hurt briefly at VNL this year, and then we saw Alain Gorgat. But like we've said, Cuba very, very rarely goes away from their starting 7. And honestly, seeing them do so here is a good thing if you're a Cuban fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a timeout Suriname to break Margarejo's service run, or attempt to do so. Beautiful pass there. High ball to Sporkslade. He was blocked by Alonso. Actually, no, not blocked. 4 contacts is the call.
Ooh,
I don't know about that one. I
yeah.
thought that got a piece of Alonso. But no challenges. In an FIVB event, you'd be able to challenge that see if it touched the block, and you might get a replay. But no, not here. 10-6 Cuba.
Great pass there.
Beautiful scoop. And Tabawada comes flying across the net to win the joust. What a dig by Yonder Garcia.
Tabawada is underrated when it comes to jousting. His net play is actually really, really good.
Oh, totally.
I think he's a really good blocker. But that's a few times there when it's a 50-50 ball right on top of the net. I'm going to give it advantage to Tabawada.
Also, Tabawada is listed on the roster at 1.91 m. That is not even close. He is way bigger than that. He's pretty close to 2 meters tall. He is a big setter. Pretty good dig there by Romero.
You're supposed to pump up people's heights on the
roster. Yeah, I'm noticing some very interesting roster height inaccuracies. Like Jake Haynes for the United States, for example, I think he's listed at 210, which sounds massive, but I guarantee you he's bigger than that. Like, why wouldn't you put players' heights what they actually are, especially if you're underrating their size? That was a blast.
Great pass though
by Jose Suarez, by the way, the previous point, and Cuba's going to get another pretty good chance here. Romero on the right side, slowed down by a good block touch. Good reaction by Sporkslade, but he's out of the offense. Tabawada to the back row. Margarejo unloads, and Breinberg in the right spot, but couldn't handle the heat. And now the high-octane Cuban offense starting to show some of its firepower here in the first set.
Breinberg with just a tough one overall. Garcia got that fantastic dig there at the beginning, and then he gets 2 sets that he kind of just chips over. Would love to see him put just a bit of a tougher ball in.
Beautiful pass there by Schmeltz, the Surinese libero, but a miss there on offense by Sporkslade. Not good hand contact. That ball into the antenna. So Cuba on a huge run right here. Might be a 6-0 run if I'm not mistaken. From 8-6. Actually, excuse me, it was 6-6. An 8-0 run for Cuba in this rotation right here. Good consistent serving from Osniel Margarejo. That's a nice piece of offense. Pretty good scoop, though, defensively. Romero to put it away in transition, and he does. The run for Cuba continues. Margarejo doing a really good job serving right now, just consistently in and with pace to set up the Cuban block and defense as Suriname calls their second and final timeout of the first set. So another point about this match, Everett, like we were talking to John Speraw, the coach of the United States, yesterday before the USA took on Suriname, and nobody had any video on the Surinese team. Now that they've played one match, Cuba has the capability to scout Suriname more than was possible yesterday. How much of a difference is that really going to make? I mean, that's
but even then, how much can you, like, it's just like they know who Kevin Sporkslade is now, but can you develop any tendencies, especially in that match there against the USA?
Probably
where,
not.
You know, kind of hard to figure out any tendencies when you get stomped on that way.
Unfortunately, yes. So out of the timeout, Margarejo continues to serve. Ooh. Pipe combination there, but a good read. Romy Alonso shuts down Asimia out of the back row. And as we were talking about yesterday, Everett, number 17 in blue, Romy Alonso back with Cuba after not playing VNL. One of the most underrated middle blockers in the world.
100%. Absolutely. And he kind of sits in the shadow of Simon, obviously, in this Cuban roster. And he played this year in Piacenza where he didn't get much playing time. But
wow, that is a big block by Tabawada on the right side. That's the size we're talking about. Huge right hand reach out to the line.
Alonso is undersized, let's say, as a middle. What's he sitting at here? Like 6'6" for? They've got him down to 6'7", but still 6'7" in today's game as a middle blocker.
Relatively small middle,
is relatively small, but he's really physical and he's really dialed in. He closes really well. He takes care of all of the little details, and that's what I love about his game.
The run continues for Cuba, but not anymore. Good kill there for Suriname. Stefanio Breinberg out of the back row. And just before that, we had a substitution. Jonathan Weingard Number 13 in red, 19 years of age at outside hitter, in for Sporkslade. So you see him there in the front court. Good comment in the chat that back in one of the Central American or Caribbean tournaments, Cuba actually played Suriname earlier this summer.
Oh, really?
So there is a little bit of experience there. That was a beautiful play, one-handed set from Tabawada to Alonso.
Is that the one that they played in the middle of?
Probably the one in El Salvador in the middle of VNL, yes. Here is Alonso from the service line. He's got some pretty good service variety. That one not one of the best. And another good comment in the chat, Suriname actually has pretty good passing. I agree. Their reception against the United States last night was pleasantly surprising in a good way.
As we discussed it earlier in the preview show, Suriname's volleyball skills overall are
good.
Real solid.
Yep.
Are real solid. And
ooh, overpass chance here. Got to put this away, and they do. First kill for Vinegard. On the left side, passing and attacking that ball just off the edge of the block of Tabawada. Break point there for Suriname off the serve of Lionel Mahabali, the setter.
I have to say, this red jersey is all right. I mean, it's a red and white jersey. Everyone's got them. But I am liking the crisp white and green jerseys that the Libero's wearing today. Absolutely.
Yeah, the yellow and green from Suriname last night was real nice. Speaking of real nice.
That was real nice.
That was beautiful. Wilson again in the middle for Cuba.
Who do you think is the first guy off this bench roster for Cuba? Who's the first guy off to join the top guys?
In this crew right now?
Yeah.
I mean, Margarejo is a pretty obvious pick, or
is it Tabawada?
Tabawada, depending on the setting situation, as that ball was sent out of bounds. But we also have seen Suarez come in and serve. I've actually seen him quite a bit. And
no, but I want coming into serve is one thing.
Right.
That's still bench actions.
Agreed.
Me, you know.
Agreed. But we have Alonso and Garcia, who are legitimate starters for Cuba, playing here right now. That angle swing attempt from Breinberg comes up a little bit short.
Seems like Suriname has a little bit less in their sails today than they did yesterday against the United States.
Quick turnaround. They played last night, and then they have the first match here this afternoon, next day. Breinberg high off the block of Wilson, out of bounds. I like that swing a lot better, keeping the ball high instead of trying to bring it down and hit a crazy angle.
I really like how simple he went after making that last error. He just went back to the bread and butter, back to the basics, high off the block. Great job.
A comment in the chat about this Surinamese libero jersey, and I agree, it is beautiful. That white and green, really like it. Not a bad looking serve there from Vinegard, but it's out of bounds wide, trying to go after Suarez there in rotation one reception. So 22-10 now the score in favor of Cuba. This is just projecting ahead. If all seeds hold Everett, we're going to get ourselves a pretty darn good match tomorrow night between Cuba and the United States. I'm looking forward to that one. That is an ace serve there from Suarez. That ball dropping in front of Vinegard.
Yeah, I don't want to, give any of you gamblers out there any fuel, but so far in the past two NORCECA championships that I've attended, a Caribbean team has lost the United States in pool play on the Thursday night match, and then has defeated the United States in the finals of each of those said NORCECA championships.
You are certainly referring to the Dominican Republic winning the women's NORCECA championship last week.
Absolutely, and I'm also referring to this Cuban team beating your American team
2019.
Back in 2019 in Winnipeg.
Yes.
So I don't. Maybe that's just a little foreshadowing there. Maybe we'll see if I can go three for three.
I would not like that very much, for the record. What we have here is set point Cuba, 24-10 after we get the floor cleaned up. And Jose Miguel Suarez will have the honors. Yeah, I let that one rip. Might as well. Set point at 24-10, now 24-11. And one side out for Cuba. They will be on the board. David Pinas, the middle blocker, back to serve. And that one comes up short once again. A few too many service errors for Suriname in this first set. Set number 1 in the books. Cuba takes it 25-11, and the teams will change sides and see what changes might or might not be made as we get looking forward to the rest of this match. Everett early takes on the Cuban bench and their performance.
I like the Cuban bench out here because they're bringing a little bit more energy than we saw with the Cuban starters yesterday at the beginning of the match. I think overall very good. We've seen all of them contribute. Literally every single Cuban athlete there is out there contributing. Suarez leading with 5 points. And he's a guy that is a little bit undersized in general, but I like his movement. We know he likes to take a big chuck at the ball from the baseline, so we know that. But yeah, overall, pretty impressed. On the other side of things, I do think that Suriname is maybe not at the same level as they were yesterday, but they're still in that realm. Brian Berg has been pretty good so far with 4 points. Well,
5 service errors for Suriname is an area I'd like to see them fix. That's very much within their control, and a lot of those serves were kind of mental mistakes more so than execution mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have
Cuba's block is alive and well with 4 in the first set.
Tabawada being involved in at least 2 of them.
It is a very, very big, physical, and imposing Cuban block across the board, no matter what lineup they play.
Even Suarez, who's arguably the shortest player on the court on the Cuban side, other than the Garcia, of course.
Suarez is up there.
He's up there with 2 blocks. So crazy. Suarez leading the match in scoring right now with 5 points, but only has 1 kill. 2 blocks and 2 aces in the first set. Not often you see that.
Diverse point scoring. Yeah, that is pretty rare to see. Thanks again to everyone for tuning in live on the Volleyball Source YouTube channel and encouraging everyone to get active in the YouTube live chat. We can see your comments, we can see your discussions about this Cuba versus Suriname match. Coming up next at 5 p.m. local time will be Canada taking on Mexico. Mexico's debut in this tournament. They had yesterday off. And then capping off the night this evening at 7:30 p.m. local, the United States taking on Puerto Rico. And if anyone's interested in following the live stats of this match, I'm going to go ahead and put the link to those stats in the live chat right now. You can check that one out. Shout-outs to our friends Joe and Jeffrey from USA Volleyball, our stat keepers for the weekend.
Are they our friends? I haven't met them yet.
I met them on Monday, and they're both great guys. They were nice enough to forward me the bulletin with all the rosters that I didn't already have, so that was very nice of them. Yes, good point. It is a shame that Robert Landy Simone is not here playing for Cuba. I agree. It would have been a treat to watch him in person. But Robert Landy not getting any younger, let's put it that way. I think he's 35, maybe 36, and is taking the summer off to just give himself a break and try and fix up a nagging back issue before his club season back in Italy with Piacenza. We are underway here with the second set with Cuba in blue serving on the near side, and a beautiful swing by Breinberg to start things off for Suriname, finding some space down the line.
Also hit my camera, so see ya.
Oh, he hit the camera? Bye, Everett. Have fun fixing your camera. Another thing that you can look forward to here on the Volleyball Source YouTube channel is the classic Volleyball Source baseline highlights. Everett is recording every single match, and we will upload those highlight videos. Some of them during this event, some of them afterwards, but plenty of content coming out here on the YouTube channel. That is another beautiful swing by Alexis Wilson, the young middle blocker. So Cuba on the board. Suriname started actually pretty well in set number 1. It was tied 6-6 before Margarejo went on that huge service run. Let's see what Suarez can do here. Pretty conservative. Handled nicely by Asimia, and a beautiful swing in the middle. David Pinas across the body. So like somebody in the comments, and like we were talking about earlier, we've been saying Suriname's reception so far pretty good. I've been impressed with the way they've handled the first contact, and Cuba is not an easy serving team to go against. Here's Kevin Sporkslade back into the starting lineup. Good block touch there. Sporkslade runs it down. Pretty good opportunity in transition. Asimia through the block of Wilson and down. And Suriname manufactures a break point. Three serving one to Suriname after getting that point on the board on Sporkslade's serve. Pretty good block touch there by Asimia against Romero to set it up. Smart serve there. Oh my goodness. Smart serve there, creating a significant traffic jam. Suarez there diving to his right, then Tabawada and Wilson combine, results in a lift call. And Sporkslade will continue to serve. Good start for Suriname again for the second set in a row, 4-1. And yes, Ronnie Cuban Spike, our very good friend and Cuban media guy in the chat, saying we've got 500 people watching, but only 37 likes on the YouTube video. Come on, guys, you can do better than that.
If a friend of me like Ronnie is out here telling you to give us a like, then maybe you should too, as Madgarejo. But I just want to meet Ronnie.
I also really want to meet Ronnie Cuban Spike. He is a legend in the Volleyball Source universe.
You know who also wants to meet Ronnie? Mrs. Marr.
Yeah, Stephen Marr's mother wants to meet Ronnie Cuban Spike, I think for very different reasons. Here is Alexis Wilson. And that float serve drifts out of bounds. Suriname with a 3-point lead here early. Can they hang on to it is the question.
Victor, I agree with you. If we need a little sprinkle of green. There's not enough green in NORCECA jerseys.
Agreed. Even Mexico, who has green in the flag, only uses green a little bit. I would like to see it a little more.
I would like to see a green Mexican
nice scoop.
Absolutely.
Pinas, the middle blocker with the backhanded flipper, but that ball is blocked by Romero and just out. I'm not sure about that call. I thought we're looking right down that sideline.
You and I
Everett.
both pointed down.
I thought that ball was in. But again, no challenges of the NORCECAs this week. That was a beautiful defensive play by Pinas, and I feel like he deserves to get another chance to serve. One-handed flick by Tabawada to the backside, but thrown by Romero. That should be a lift.
He just overcomplicated that.
Even if it's not, it's a ball that comes up short. 7-2 Suriname.
Let's go.
Everett, you called it in the pregame show. You thought that Suriname would take a set in this match. Could this be it?
Hey, I don't want to count chickens too early here, but, you know, the hen is looking pretty full. Kyung liked that one.
Yeah, our producer Kyung Wooten really liked that one. Timeout Cuba, 7-2 Suriname. What a turnaround. So we've seen now all three Surinamese jerseys. We saw yellow and green last night with the red libero. Now we see red with the white and green libero. I hope that means tomorrow they're all going to be wearing that white and green because I love that look.
That may be my favorite of all.
It's beautiful. Yeah, really like the look a lot on the Surinamese side. I'm impressed. Cuba, actually an underrated jersey set as well. I've always liked their look, just a classic red, white, and blue. Out of the timeout, Suriname continuing to serve, and an overpass for us. That's a heck of a play by Garcia. No, sorry, that's Gorgat, the new libero for Cuba. He's in the match here. Number 24 in white making a good play, but it doesn't matter. Breinberg on the right side for Suriname keeps this run going. Did I just see Rob Aspero in the YouTube chat earlier?
Yeah,
he's literally here.
He's out here like throwing Luke Reynolds, not like under the bus in like in a funny way.
Just throwing him a shout out. That ball is off the Breinberg block and out of bounds. But Rob Aspero is here. Like I can see him right now. He's the voice that you hear in the background, the live MC.
He's not. He doesn't have any. He's typing right now.
He's typing in the YouTube chat right now. Rob, you're a legend.
There's no way he can hear us though. He doesn't have a headset in.
Right.
We could say whatever we wanted about him.
Shout outs to Rob Aspero.
There's
I think that was like a 2-ball combination there. That was Asimia into the middle. Good
defense.
That is a net touch by Suriname. Point Cuba. That was a very interesting point. Yeah, that.
I kind of thought Alonso was in the net there, but
that may have been a
Scott
little.
Dasiewicz is on the down ref, so we'll see.
That was a little trick from Suriname trying to touch the bottom of the net and maybe bait the down ref into making the wrong call. But that was a clear overpass put away from Alonso is what I saw.
I don't know. Ball doesn't lie, Rob. Ball does not lie.
Ball tells lies all the time, Everett, and you know it. Romero misses that serve short. It is 9-4 Suriname. Breinberg back to serve. Zafanio we agree is probably the coolest first name in this tournament.
Absolutely.
Nice turn there by Alonso against 2 blockers.
That movement, too, of how he's drifting in on the cross angle, facing to 5, and as he's hit, he's able to turn himself back to 1. Like, that's just, we were talking about Jendrick and his paths yesterday. I feel like Alonso, that was a perfect example of that right there.
Tough pass. Brian Bergel taking out a system swing. Finds the line, but Gorget is there. Suarez in transition. Straight over the top of the block of Lionel Mahabali, the Surinamese setter. That is a good matchup and a good set choice for Taboada. But it's good to see another libero for Cuba. I think they're going with a serving libero and a reception libero right now. Elaine Gorget, number 24 in white, in at libero right, and at least at the moment for Cuba, made a good defensive play there. Yeah, Rob Aspero, very active in the YouTube live chat right now. I'm looking at him typing on his computer. This is awesome. Love to see him supporting us. That ball is touched by Taboada on its way out of bounds. Good swing by Asimia. And Taboada tried to lie about that touch for a moment, but he couldn't quite get away with it. Definitely off Taboada's outside hand.
Plus volleyball, for the record, we have no notion whatsoever of how ticket sales are going, or there is a spattering of people in here, which is better than it was for yesterday's game. So there's a bit of improvement.
Suarez against a one-on-one tries to go too sharp and comes up short. That's an unforced error there. But I mean, it's pretty standard to assume that a Wednesday game in the early afternoon would not be as well attended, just because of where it is in the day and in the week. I'm expecting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, once we get to the single elimination bracket, attendance will jump up here in Charleston, West Virginia a little bit. Repeat set to Suarez, like that choice a lot, and he goes once again right over the top of Mahabali.
He's very fast.
Very fast.
Everything from his first step, his approach, his swing, it's all about speed, and I really like that. As I said, he is a little bit undersized, especially with this Cuban roster that's known for being very physical. He just brings a little bit of a different look.
Yeah, 1.92 is Jose Miguel Suarez.
Bro, he's like my height.
Good read there by Wilson, but recycled off the block. Now Sporkslade through the block of Taboada and down. Good, I think that was an intentional timing delay there from Sporkslade to jump early, hang, and slap it through the block on its way down.
Romero's out there getting mad at Taboada for not blocking that. I mean, I don't, like, it looked like a good block to me, and it's right in front of us, but I want to see Romero, like, with a bit of an effort on defense there. Didn't even hit the ground.
Beautiful offense there. Pipe combination, Margarejo flying out of the back row. Which one of it, well, until recently it was 3 Cuban setters. Now it seems to only be 2, Thondike or Taboada. Which one of those 2 can play consistently enough to lock down the starting setter job? That is the question. That ball was in. I think our line judge back there, on his way to call that ball in, accidentally threw his flag. That was really funny.
That's 2 minutes in the box for throwing the stick.
Little hockey reference from our friend north of the border here.
I was never a stick thrower, but I was a dive at your feet type of guy if you were running away from me.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Here is Sporkslade high off the block of Wilson and right on the sideline. Yeah, Breinberg decided to let that ball go, thinking it was going out of bounds. Incorrect choice. That ball is in. Good block there by Wilson. Timeout Suriname.
That was tough to watch.
It was tough to watch,
especially since it's really taken Sporkslade a lot to get going this afternoon. Right, he was hands down the best Surinamese player last night. He only has 1 point so far, a set and a half into this match.
We got a comment in the chat, by the way. We were incorrect earlier. The word is Surinamese.
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 Okay.
So we'll get
the person who like gave me the phonetic spelling in the YouTube chat yesterday was wrong, because there was only 3 syllables in that one.
Interesting.
There is no stops in Canada. This is a one-stop event. And actually, well, technically there was a stop in Canada.
It was the women's event last week.
The women's event was in Quebec City last week. So
yes, it was. A very good event hosted by Volleyball Canada.
Yeah, it was very well attended.
Everett was there.
I was.
Here is Taboada serving out of the timeout. Breinberg ripping out of the back row. That is a very good-looking swing by number 9 in red.
Maybe we don't put the printer there. That nearly destroyed the printer.
Yeah, one of our printers here might have just exploded if somebody hadn't rescued it at the last moment.
Oh, another good run.
Another pipe run to Margarejo, and he tags the baseline.
And the linesperson keeps his flag in his hands this time. Burnaby Joe, come on. Come on. Do you think we're amateurs out here?
No, we're not doing it. Nice try. Here's Suarez. Ooh, pretty good bump set from Mahabali from the back line, but the error by Breinberg out of bounds cross court. Cuba within 1 here. Suarez doing a good job serving.
Ooh, off speed.
Cut serve, like that choice. Nice high ball set. Very, very clean out of the hands of Lionel Mahabali. Put away by Breinberg, who's been pretty good on the left side as far as opposites go. 14-12 for Kevin Sporkslade. Nice high rip that time by Romero. The new Cuban opposite, number 16 in blue. We haven't really said his name that much this match so far, Everett. He's been relatively quiet. A lot of the offense run through the outsides and the middle of the court, but we saw Romero a little bit yesterday against Puerto Rico. Good to see some different bodies on the right side. Give Jesus Herrera a little bit of a break as Wilson misses that float serve badly short. Nice high swing from Romero there. Sporkslade's underneath it. Great touch. Asimia gets there, sends it over. Quick ball to Margarejo. Push through the block and down. Smart choice there. Like an Eric Lepke shot like we saw yesterday.
You're not wrong.
Romero back to serve. Cuba looking to complete this comeback and equalize. They trailed by as many as 5 earlier in this set. Can Suriname hold on? Really good pass. And thumped in the middle by Anthony Leong. That is such a good pass by Kevin Sporkslade. We've been praising Suriname's serve reception, and we're going to keep that going. Their first contact has really been quite good. Breinberg serves short. Alonso is there. Pretty good diving defensive play that time. Lesperance, one of the liberos for Suriname, but the ball is blocked against Breinberg and down for the Cuban point.
That was a tough one. Once again, out of system, Breinberg has a bit of issues. You have
in system, he looks great.
Absolutely.
Out of system, needs a little work on his consistency. Suriname, by the way, using 2 liberos. Anthony Schmeltz, number 8 in white, in now when Suriname is receiving. And they'll bring Jason Lesperance in when they're serving.
Kick dig over there by Breinberg.
Nice coverage. Alonso mercilessly pounds that one to the floor cross body, and we are tied.
Great
16 all, yeah. Alonso might be the best player on the floor on either team right now.
Oh, okay.
And I just
over Margarejo.
I really, really like what I'm seeing from Alonso so far through about a match and a half.
Okay.
Beautiful block by Suarez. That ball's kept alive again. 2 kick covers in a row for Suriname.
Oh, no.
Romero to punish them, and he does. Cuba takes the lead. Good swing by the young number 16 in blue out of the back row.
Cuba, you've known that they were coming for a while now, but finally breaks through the seal there. That was a great shot of that swing on the right side there by Romero.
Margarejo was the server who really distanced Cuba in the first set. Can he do it again here? Good pass by, tight pass by Sporkslade. And Romy Alonso again with the easiest kill he'll probably get all tournament. That was crushed.
Yeah, it did look like that pass was pretty good, and it was a little tight. And Ramonzo's Ramonzo.
Romy Alonso.
Alonso is just going to eat you for breakfast every single time there.
Timeout Suriname. Cuba has taken the lead, and comments in the chat, yes, indeed. Cuba has a new head coach this tournament. Jesus Cruz Lopez has replaced Nicolas Vives. It is a new era for Cuban volleyball. And already we're seeing some of the changes from the top, from the coaching staff, and just from the way that Cuba is approaching this event already. And there are some very positive signs.
Yeah, let's see. Double sub yesterday, playing the bench today. Not to mention
getting Luke Reynolds.
Luke Reynolds,
using
absolutely.
outside advice that has really high volleyball IQ and experience. Like, these are all good things.
Yeah. I mean, bad news for us Canadians and Americans as Cuba looks to regain their. They were one of the best team in the world throughout the 90s.
They
right?
were.
Finished second at the 2010 World Championships. Like, this has been a team who has been at the pinnacle of the sport for a long time. And if you look at rosters around the world, the best teams in the world field the Cuban.
Most of them do.
There's no. I mean, hey, the new queens of women's volleyball, Turkey, Melissa Vargas.
2
Poland,
MVPs.
you got Leon. Brazil with Leao. Like, the list goes on and on.
Italy with Osmani Juantorena.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a. Cuban volleyball is legit. They've exported a ton of talent. Now they're able to keep it at home. Now what can their federation do with it? 3-point lead here and a free ball chance. Alonso again. Another no-doubter in the middle for number 17.
Just picking up where they left off. Like, this is what I'm expecting from Cuba as they start to get rolling here in the second set.
For the second set in a row, it is Osniel Mergarejo's serve that has gone on a huge run to give Cuba some separation. 20-16, 4-point lead. And the reception hasn't been the problem. That's a good one from Sporkslade. Pretty good touch. Romero with the chance out of system, and he overpowers the defense.
Oh, he
what
kicks
a kick.
it. Oh.
Okay, good chase down. Really good effort.
We were excited there for a second. Oh.
That's Schmeltz, the receiving Surinamese libero, making that kick save, diving into the barrier, but it wasn't enough. Suriname is out of timeout, so what they're going to try and do now is slow down the momentum with substitutions. 2 new guys coming in. The new opposite is number 18 in red, Mason Anakaba, and the new setter, number 12 in red, Casey Fo Aman. Who is going to get Suriname a point? Well, it turns out Mergarejo will. He misses that serve out of bounds down the line. Certainly a good run, though, by the Cuban captain, and now it is up to Cuba's side out to push them across the finish line in the second set.
When you look at the way Melgarejo serves compared to the other Cuban players, the ones who are spin serving, he does it so effortlessly. He's never trying too hard and never going too fast. Whereas Suarez just swung OT
Straight
there.
OT.
Beautiful.
Over the top.
But Melgarejo he has so much confidence in his swing, and you can tell that it's just so smooth. I've always loved his swing. It's been very natural, and it's a treat to to see it in person right now.
Absolutely. Here is Alonso. One thing he hasn't really done yet in this match is serve the ball great, and that continues. Another error there long. And a very good point in the chat. Suriname had a transition swing up 16-14, which they failed to score on, and then they immediately gave up a 7-point run. That's the sort of thing that Suriname needs to avoid at all costs in matches like these. That ball is in right on the sideline from Suarez.
I think I saw that out.
I thought that might have been out as well. It certainly didn't have any spin. It thought it was traveling sideways quicker than it was traveling down.
If anyone can hear, we're being rickrolled in the arena at the moment.
My favorite.
And Rob's face just lit up.
I love a rickroll.
The only thing that Rob loves more than rickrolls is cats.
I do love cats. I've seen 3 of them already here in Charleston.
He literally bought cat food last night to feed the stray cats out of our Airbnb.
I did. That's correct.
They're a little mangy looking, so we're not letting them inside the house, but we are.
Everett, you're missing another thing that I really, really love. That's missed float serves. They're just my favorite.
That is definitely his favorite. He likes those more than volleyball itself.
The original setter and opposite back in for Suriname, but it doesn't matter. They can't stop Alexis Wilson that time. Set point Cuba 24-19, a huge run on Osniel Margarejo's serve to put Cuba in a pretty comfortable position here to go up 2-0.
Oh, that's
that
a
ball
spin
is
to win.
in. Ace serve. Suarez wins it in style. The 21-year-old tags the baseline with an ace, and Cuba flips the switch midway through the set. They take set number 2, 25-19. Cuba leads Suriname 2-0. So good work from Cuba there, really turning it on in the middle of the set when Suriname left a little crack in the door open. Cuba burst right through it, and they lead 2-0. Taking a look at the two sidelines. It is interesting that head coach of Suriname, Carlos Horta, is actually of Cuban descent, so he's coaching against his home country here. Everett right now is editing a baseline video from last night's match between the United States and Suriname. I'm looking at those nice yellow and green jerseys. We already got a little bit of action up on Instagram. We were making fun of Taylor Averill earlier, who was a very good sport about it. Go check that out on my Instagram at rstclair1 or the Volleyball Source Instagram at Volleyball Source 2.0. Stand up and get on camera?
Sure.
Ooh, that camera is too high for us to be standing.
Let's,
we need to sit down in front of
he
us.
sat down. He set
there we go.
Ooh, look at that. We're both wearing
Yeah,
9x9.
but both a little 9x9 gear. Very nice.
By the way, you guys can head over to thatvolleyball.store to pick up some of the official Spicy Volleyball, and Volleyball Source merch.
What's up, people? I'm Rob St. Clair. This is Everett DeLorme. We have the pleasure of bringing you the 2023 NORCECA Men's Continental Championship live on Volleyball Source. Cuba leads 2-0 right here. First match of the day on day 2 of group play. We're really still only just getting started.
Oh,
the level of volleyball is continuing to improve. The competitive level of matches is getting better.
Yes.
I don't know if we saw anybody get to. Did we see anybody get to 20 yesterday when losing a set? Maybe
No.
Puerto Rico did it once.
Oh,
But Suriname
yeah.
getting to 19 right there, like that's the most points they've scored in a set so far, and they actually had a chance to win that thing midway through. So
Puerto Rico did get to 21.
okay.
19 and 15. So there is that. But yeah, absolutely. Been actually a pretty entertaining ones here so far.
We haven't really had any snooze fest matches. Maybe like Canada versus Dominican Republic
that was a snooze
felt
fest.
the most lopsided, but it was fun because Canada was playing at a super high level.
Cristobal didn't even want to watch that one. So
coming up next after this, we've got Mexico making their debut in the tournament against Canada. They'll be at 5 p.m. local. And then later on tonight, the United States takes on Puerto Rico, who, as a friendly reminder, Puerto Rico are the defending champions of this tournament.
yes,
They won the 2021 event under, let's say, significantly different circumstances.
didn't they have Gabby Garcia on their team?
They
awkward.
might have.
That's
They
awkward.
might have. Wonder what he's doing these days.
Oh, he's hanging out in Anaheim.
He is in the training gym with the United States, his new national team as of 2024.
Just another things you guys have stolen from that country.
Well, let's get back to the match here, please. We go to camera 1, Kyung. Thank you very much. We are underway with set number 3. And Cuba is on the board in blue on the far side.
At this point, I don't think Suriname. I think it's going to be tough for Suriname to win a set.
That chance they just had in the second when they led
Was it?
16-14, that was the best chance they've had so far, and it hasn't been close. So they've got to keep their level real high if they want to get back to that point. Good dig there. Now Suriname with a free ball chance. Asimia out of the back row is dug. What a block! I think that's the first block for Suriname of the tournament, and it was a big one. David Pinas combining with Breinberg, I believe. or maybe it was Sporkslade on the right side.
It is their first block of the tournament. You are correct, Rob.
Pinas number 6 in red definitely got most of that one. That was a very good block. Suriname on the board. Romero on the left side for Cuba. Puts it away off the block and out of bounds, and questions about maybe a center line violation, as I think Romero and Breinberg got tangled up with their feet underneath the net, but no violation. Everything was clean according to the officials. Suarez back to serve, who finished off set number 2 with an ace. Tight pass there by Anthony Schmeltz, and tapped down by Wilson. Nice little fun fact in the chat, Schmeltz, number 8 in white for Suriname, actually plays outside hitter back home. But they must have a lot of faith in his first contact ability and reception to make him the primary serve receiver here in the NORCECA Championship. More good serving. Suarez cuts that one short, gets back an overpass, and then is available on the pipe. Gets the ball back again. Quick ball to Margarejo. Really sharp cross court. Gorgeous angle there from the Cuban captain.
Yeah, he's just showing you his toolbox right now. And I mean, if we saw Melgarejo starting on Saturday or Sunday, I would not be surprised.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, we talk about it all the time, Everett, on the 9x9 and otherwise, the value of having 3 really good outside hitters. And I'd say the 3 teams that have the best chance to win this tournament, Cuba, the United States, and Canada, all have 3 really good outside hitters. It certainly helps in a tournament with this sort of schedule as well when you're playing a lot of matches. Yeah. 5-1 start here for Cuba. Suarez going on a run. Timeout Suriname, trying not to let this thing get out of hand.
Yeah, and it was so tough because Suriname had to have gotten up during the last set. They were leading early. They what, 7-2 lead at the earlier
7-2 in the second, also 16-14.
You know, and they were right there, and unfortunately they just let it slip away. And once that happens in the second set and you go down even further into the hole, it's really hard to get out of that.
Very much so. Ooh, another fun fact in the chat. Last Caribbean Championship that Suriname won, they pulled off multiple reverse sweeps.
Ooh,
from down 2-0 to winning 3-2. Well, that would be very fun to watch. We've had nothing but 3-0s in this tournament so far. Only a matter of time until we get a 5-set banger here and there.
Maybe tomorrow night.
Maybe tomorrow night. Out of the timeout, Suarez again.
Ooh.
And a good timeout. We call that a coach's point on this side of the border. You guys do the same?
Yep, absolutely. It reminds, whenever I hear of a coach's point, I always remember of my buddies Tsihi Laving and Tyler Vivian when I coached Mavericks, and we would immediately go and turn his goes right in the pocket with a French accent whenever we did that. So shout out to those guys. I know Tyler Viv is a strength and conditioning coach for Nipissing University. He's also the head coach of the Canadian military team.
Oh, cool. Net violation there against the Suriname block. 6-2 Cuba. I was laughing there because I was remembering I saw a comment yesterday in the live chat that somebody thought that I was Canadian.
You wish you were Canadian.
Can't tell to be if I'm insulted by that or honored.
You love so much Canadiana, though.
I do. I definitely do. That ball is hit out of bounds by Asimia, and Suriname needs to be very careful right about here.
I'm going to bring you up to Canada. We're going to go to like Peterborough or something and just go hang out in the local hockey rink, and you're going to have a great time.
Wow, what a block by Margarejo.
Yeah.
So the antenna was touched by something. I didn't think it was the ball.
I think it was Margarejo's elbow.
Might have been, but I guess the ball was down first before any antenna touch happened. So 8-2 Cuba. This, sure enough, despite that Surinamese timeout, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand here. Pretty good block touch, but Tabawada can't quite get underneath that ball in the pancake play, and Suriname achieves the side out. Oh. Wow, look at that speed.
Beautiful.
Margarejo and Alonso were in the air at the exact same time.
Low key. Tabawada's kind of looked better than Thorndike to me. Tabawada today has looked better than Thorndike yesterday.
That is true. The thing is, though, that when they play tomorrow, it could be completely different. Like, the lack of consistency of the Cuban setters is pretty ridiculous. But I do agree that Tabawada has looked good today. That was a beautiful delivery just there.
I may have
block touch. High out of system swing from Asimia, and not good hand contact. That one is out of bounds. Let's check up on his stats. What has Romero done on the right side? He has 7 points. He's 6 for 11 attacking. That's certainly pretty good. Nice dig down the line there by Garcia. Romero with another chance. Down the line and long. Definitely out of bounds long. No touch by the block or the defense. And Suriname takes the point. Asimia back to serve. Suriname trails by 6, needing to string together some break points here. Look at that run to Suarez out of the back row. Just destroyed with no block up. Beautiful.
Suarez loads up with so much speed. And, you know, I talked about the kinetic chain with Sam Cooper yesterday. He's another guy who really balls up into a ball, and then when he releases it, his feet swing forward to oppose his arms, and there's just so much speed that comes through it.
Incredibly explosive.
It's a lot of fun to watch Suarez. Oh, as he just did something there.
Fell down
he's
after
been
his
beaten
block
up.
attempt.
He's been beaten up a little bit today.
Yeah, a really good swing by Breinberg there, getting his feet to an inside set and finding a cross-court angle. That's a good high-level opposite play by number 9 in red.
Oh,
good dig as well. Free ball chance for Cuba. Suarez tipped into the block of Mahabali. Keeps it alive. Alonso is stuffed straight down. Nice help block there from Kevin Sporkslade with Pinas there as well. Second block of the match for Suriname.
There we go. Little by little, they're learning how to play at this level.
Anthony Lee Aliong, number 3 in red, only 18 years of age, starting at middle blocker here for Suriname and serving. Nice shot by Romero down the line, taking advantage of the late blocker in Sporkslade, who immediately puts his hand up knowing that he did not get there in time. Alonso here back to serve. Easy pass from Sporkslade. Slow ball to the middle is almost run down off the block touch, but not quite.
Honestly, they should just run that some more. I don't think it's been stopped yet.
Especially because with the height of it, you can set it from just about anywhere.
It's a meter ball. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's a meter ball. But Pinas goes up and does, like, he's not looking to bounce it. Like, he was looking for hands there. He was looking around.
He can bounce it. We certainly saw him do it in warm-ups. Ooh, another decent help block look from Sporkslade against the middle, but that time Wilson fast enough to go off the block and out of bounds.
Yeah, Pinas is only listed as 6'4", 194 centimeters, so he's not huge, but he does hop pretty well.
Sure. Tabawada back to serve. Put some work in from the service line in set number 2. That ball well left as it goes out of bounds.
Sporkslade has been quiet today for Suriname. Very quiet. Just the 1 point. Oh, beautiful.
Nice setting again.
Beautiful.
Tabawada with a good choice and a well-located ball. Suriname not ready to block against the pipe right now. That is something that is carving them up a good bit.
Yeah. As I said last night, maybe Suriname just doesn't play in the back row. Maybe that's just not something that's part of Surinamese volleyball.
We've seen Osimia hit a couple balls out of that spot, but oh, a serve. Nice chop there by Suarez. But it's definitely not with the speed that a team like Cuba is running. And that's like a true big play, the back row quick there.
And Suarez is just, his changeup is so deadly just given how hard he can serve the ball. So you're digging in, ready for him to smoke it at you. And he just pops it around the attack line. It's so tough to read.
Suarez has been awesome, 13 points.
Another one.
Including 2 blocks and 4 aces. Pinas tipped through the block in the middle, and he gets away with it.
Well, he's been much better offensively because he only had that 1 kill in the first set. After the first set, he had 5 points with 2 aces and 2 blocks.
7 for 12 right now. Suarez with 3 errors. So maybe not the most efficient offense, hitting about 33%, but the blocking and the serving has definitely been there.
Oh, beautiful.
Good defense. Got to take advantage of this here if you're Suriname, and they do.
Sporkslade,
yeah,
let's go.
Sporkslade kind of spatches that ball with no spin at all, and Taboada couldn't handle it.
You know, he's laughing about it. It was a bit of a broken play there for Suriname, but they made it work.
Ooh, I like that float serve.
Yeah.
And that ball is out of bounds, no touch. I think Mahabali got out of the way of that.
No, I agree, but I think it was a good move.
Yeah. Margarejo is asking for the touch, and
classic.
Our first, I think that's all. I'm surprised it took this long. We just had the officials tell the guys, back away, stop complaining about calls. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet already. Margarejo ripped down the line. Very nice response.
So once again, we're seeing this Surinamese defense that pulls over. We're seeing Sporkslade like standing in that one line, which is rare.
Almost playing like rotational defense, like putting that position 6 defender all the way on the right sideline.
Yeah.
Nice set. Even better dig, though, by Taboada. Now Margarejo against 3 blockers. Pretty good read by Schmeltz, the libero. Chopped again. Sporkslade out of the back row. Sure enough, we were saying that Suriname hasn't used that pipe attack very much, and now we have 2 for 2 for Sporkslade in his last 2 swings.
He's starting to heat up. Cuba needs to pay attention here.
Suriname having a little bit of success point scoring in longer rallies. My question is, can they find some service pressure? I think that would really help them make a comeback here. Perfect pass there. Good touch against Alonso, but the defense couldn't run it down. 17-12 Cuba. Looking pretty good here if they can hold on and potentially go 6-0 in sets. Here is Romero, the opposite, as we get something maybe sorted out at the scorer's table. Looking forward to chatting with a few of the players, hopefully from both teams. I'm not sure, other than Javier Concepcion, who we interviewed in Ottawa at VNL. And we know that he speaks good English. If we got any other Cuban fans in the chat, Ronnie, if you're listening, give us other suggestions on Cuban guys to interview that would be comfortable in English. But we will definitely talk to Kevin Sporkslade of Suriname as well if he's willing to chat with us. There's Sporkslade again out of the back row. Taboada, the setter, takes a swing. He's kept alive. Breinberg down the line is scooped very nicely. Now Romero bombs away. Very good dig by Yonder Garcia of Cuba. And it turns into Cuban offense immediately. So that break point there to go up by 6 at 18-12. That's a comfortable one for Cuba.
You'd have to think that might do it for them. You know, you'd have to think that would be enough for Cuba. They're 7 points away from winning, 6-point spread there. That would be enough.
Good adjustment by Cuba as well. Breinberg's had some success hitting down the line, and Garcia that time all over it, made that dig look easy. Romero misses that serve short. Osimia will go back to serve. Both teams switching liberos, so you're certainly allowed to dress and use 2 liberos in international volleyball these days. Some teams do it where they switch them every point based on if you're serving or receiving. That's what both these teams are doing right now. Ace serve! We asked about service pressure a minute ago. There is Ethan Asimia. Is that the first ace of the day for Suriname? It might be. Yes, it is. Came at a very good time. That one a clean one in between Gorget and Suarez.
Not only is it the first ace of the day, it's also the first ace of the tournament.
Yeah, I didn't remember them having any against the USA last night. Tight pass. Tabawada initiates the joust. One-handed poke from Sporkslade. Now a chance to swing, and he goes off the block and out of bounds. I do not think that touched Sporkslade before the floor. So 2 break points in a row here for Suriname on the serve of Ethan Asimia.
Sporkslade has been really much better here in this third set. 3 kills already, 3 for 3.
Getting more involved. Mergarejo chopped over the block. Defensive play is made. Sporkslade to get back within 2. He's dug easily. Mergarejo straight down the line. Man, that is a special swing. His body was pretty far inside the antenna there. He was able to turn it across his body so far, even like past 90 degrees to get it to the sideline.
That was great. That was a beautiful shot there by Mergarejo.
Full crunch with his abs across his body. That's a high degree of difficulty shot there. Here is the rotation. The Cubas had a ton of success with Mergarejo serving, but there Leah Leon gets him out of it immediately with the tip in the middle. Nice shot there from Suarez. Breinberg is underneath it. Free ball here for Cuba. Suarez wildly out of bounds cross court there. Little underneath that ball. Another break point for Suriname. This is not over yet, Everett. It was a 6-point game like a split second ago.
It was. I may be eating my words very shortly.
That may have been a bit of a commentator's curse.
Well, you're welcome.
Leon keeps the serve in play. Big swing there from Romero, touched and in on the baseline.
Once again, there's just no notion whatsoever that a C-ball is coming there from the Surinamese
Yeah,
blockers.
They're not doing a great job getting the block over to that back row right side attack.
They keep on. It's always a surprise.
Shouldn't be a surprise that Cuba can produce big bangers to hit all over the court no matter what the starting lineup is. We'll take our time to clean up the floor.
Oh, they're playing the wipe song.
Yeah. I love that.
That's almost demeaning.
I thought the wipe song would be reserved for like
for
the wipe,
wipe off the
block.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or can give it to the floor cleaners as well. Shout out to all our volunteers.
That's how you know we're volleyball nerds, because that's what immediately we think about. Everyone else would think, well, wipe the floor. That makes so much more sense.
Another hybrid serve by Alonso out of bounds. He has not found a rhythm from the service line. 18-20, Mahabali back to serve and play defense. Good blocking rotations here for Suriname. I mean, again, Everett, if they're going to win a set, this is a pretty darn good opportunity right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mergarejo out of the back row.
I'm going to give Suriname a lot of respect here and credit, because I would have thought that they would have crumbled after that last set, and we saw that early on, and that's what everything was pointing to. But so far, they've done a great job. They've really fought back nicely.
Right, I wasn't sure where Suriname would be able to get break points from, but they've got a couple. They had an ace, they had a block, they had a couple defensive transition plays. This is progress, good progress we're seeing. Scramble here on the Cuban side. Suarez will take a tricky swing, and Pinas comes all the way across the net to throw it back down for the block. 19-21. I do like how Jesus Cruz Lopez, the coach for Cuba, is giving his team a pretty long leash right now. Don't call timeout. You're still up 2. Let them figure it out. This is a learning opportunity for Cuba, just as it is for Suriname. Romero high into the block. Pretty good coverage, but now an out-of-system play. Suarez tipped through the block and down on the Surinamese side. as Pinaz is helped up off the floor. Looks like he's okay. That's good news. 22-19. This is I think this is the moment right here, Everett. If Suriname is going to make this comeback, this is the side out that they must have.
If Cuba gets the Monsters Inc. point, then it's done.
23-19.
23-19.
We have a 23-19. Well, we might have a 23-19.
We
we'll
might.
See.
That's what I said. If Cuba gets to the Monsters Inc. point.
Right. Sporkslade of Suriname is over here talking to the official, maybe just looking at the floor.
Oh, this is a smart timeout. Smart timeout.
That actually, I think that is what's going on there. I think that is a veteran move. Sporkslade, like, I don't think Suriname has any timeouts. Oh, they do. I could have sworn they already used both.
Okay, never mind.
Never mind. We have the double timeout.
Yeah, I guess so.
The rare double timeout. You don't see that every day. Got a little Mambo number 5 in the house. 22-19 Cuba. Again, this side. This is the moment right here for Suriname. Got a side out Suarez's serve. Good question in the chat. We can talk about the tournament format a little bit.
Sure.
Check out the Volleyball Source Instagram, by the way. We put up a graphic last night about how the pools work. So 7-team tournament, three teams in Group A. That is Canada, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. 4 teams in Group B. That is these two, Cuba, Suriname, plus the United States and Puerto Rico. If you win your pool, you go directly to the semifinals. Those will be on Saturday. If you take second or third in your pool, you'll play in the quarterfinal on Friday. If you take fourth in this 4-team pool here in Group B, you will not make the bracket, but you will play at least one classification match. So basically there's 2 groups. One has 3 teams, one has 4. Bracket starts Friday. Out of the timeout here, big moment. Suriname needs side out, and Pinaz destroyed inside the block. What a shot.
A few big plays there by Pinaz. He doesn't make a lot of points, but when he does, they're effective and they're timely.
20 serving 22. Pressure still on Suriname to get points on their serve. That is such a good swing by Romero. We've seen him hit the line a lot. I like that high cross court shot, kind of high seam into a space in the defense. Here is Alexis Wilson, the young middle blocker. Really like to see him serve the ball in more consistently. That's a good one. Combination play.
Hey.
Asimia, the outside hitter on sort of that tandem.
That's a hall play, baby. Let's go.
Don't see that very much in high-level volleyball anymore.
No, that's certainly a high school play.
Yeah, it's the old X play, or like the Japanese high school play. Like they run that stuff all the time. But Asimia goes off the block and out of bounds. This is not over yet. 21-23. Oh, good
great
scoop.
dig.
Huge swing here for Breinberg. But with no block in front of him. He hits it out of bounds.
Out of
Bummer.
system.
That was a great dig from Sporkslade.
Out of system, Breinberg is just I'd want to see him do something with it. Something.
And it's a hard job. Hitting out of system balls as an opposite at this level is hard. But it's what you have to do in that position at this level. We have match point now. Cuba leads 24-21. Jose Romero to serve. Match on the line. Could this be it? Beautiful pass. Sporkslade out of the back row is kept alive briefly, but not for long. Match is still going.
There we go. 4 kills now for Sporkslade.
Look at Ronnie Cuban Spike preemptively calling that the game is over. This is not over yet. 22-24.
It's funny because when I saw that, I was like, oh, we must just be behind on the stream. But
We're
then
not
I forgot.
behind.
We are the stream.
We are the stream. Asimia serving to keep the match alive. He keeps that ball in play. Match point chance here. Romero out of the back row. Good dig. Breinberg got to take a good swing here.
Okay.
He keeps it in play, and somehow it scores.
Go.
Suriname is back within 1.
There we go. He's been listening to the broadcast. He's like, I'm going to prove them wrong this time.
I'm going to keep the ball in play here, and somehow he gets the bonus of a point. Now we've got a very interesting situation. One more break point on the serve of Ethan Asimia for Suriname, and we've got overtime on our hands. Time out Cuba.
First time we'd have an overtime here so far. This 2020
This is the first time we've even been close to an overtime.
Yes.
This is fun.
What do you think, Rob?
What do I think?
You think we're going to a fourth
I
here?
hope so.
I hope so, too.
I hope so. I think it would be fun. I mean, the Surinamese coach was saying that they would be happy to just win a set in this tournament. I disagree with that. I think they're capable of winning a match. I don't think it'll be this match, but I do like their chances here to make a little bit of a comeback. There is Cuba under pressure now for kind of the first time all tournament. I'm curious to see how they respond as part of a new system with a different group of guys on the floor. A lot of good options, though, for Tabawada here. He's in the front court. He's got Alonso and Margarejo, plus Romero or Suarez out of the back row. This is it. Match point. Asimia got to serve this ball in, and he does. Tabawada, Margarejo, sharp cross court. And it couldn't be kept alive by libero Jason Lesperan. So close, Suriname, to a miracle comeback, but that is it. Cuba survives an inspired effort to take the third set 25-23, and Cuba wins the match 3-0, but another excellent showing from a very young and new to the scene Surinamese team. Everett, you and I are on the same page. We are really impressed.
Big fans.
Big fans.
Big fans out here. I think they're out here representing their country well. They're competing. And you know what? I thought they were going to fold up and die in that third set, and they proved me wrong, and I'm happy they did.
They were down, I think, what, 7-2 early,
yeah.
maybe even 8-2, and they really made a great set out of it there in the third. Had a chance to push it to overtime. So that really shows some spirit. I love to see that. Everett, if you could do me a huge favor, go and introduce yourself to Kevin Sporkslade.
Let's see if we can get Kevin Sporkslade.
And see if he's interested in coming to chat with us. We will do our best to go grab an interview for you guys right now. Everett's going to go see if we can hear from Surinamese captain Kevin Sporkslade and see what his thoughts are through 2 matches on what his team has learned so far in this event. Everett is working up by the Surinamese sideline to see if he can grab an interview. We will get Kevin at least. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see Sporkslade there. You've got him on the camera. He's fulfilling his captain's duties of signing the score sheet at the conclusion of the match. So after he does that, Everett will grab him and bring him over to our broadcast setup. Coming up next, so what is it right now? About 4:15 p.m. local. At the top of the hour, 5 p.m. local, 5 p.m. Eastern time, Canada, who won yesterday easily over the Dominican Republic. Canada will take on Mexico, their first match of the tournament. And then after that, 7:30 p.m., the United States will take on Puerto Rico. I'm looking over here. Everett has just made contact with Kevin Sporkslade. He is bringing him over to our broadcast setup. Another good question in the chat about the standings in NORCECA. I was actually just learning this myself last night. I was expecting it to be 3 points for a 3-set win. It's actually, you get 5 for a 3-0 win, 4 for a 3-1 win, and then on down from there. Please do. All right, Everett, take a seat here. Kevin, my name is Rob St. Clair.
Yes,
Thank you very much for joining us.
No problem,
and a well-played match so far. We are both very impressed with your team. What so far have you learned through 2 matches against good opponents like the United States and Cuba? What has your team learned so far this week?
Starting off, we don't play too much on this level. We just came off 2 tournaments, one in the Central American Games, where we faced some of these guys already, and after that we had our own Zonal Caribbean Championship, which we won again.
Yes,
back to back.
congratulations.
So that's how we qualified for this tournament, by the way.
Right.
So that's why we're here. So we know the level we would expect here, but knowing and finding out on the court itself is two different things. So mostly the first set, that's where you see we had to adjust, and the second and third set is going better for us because we're then adjusting to the level. You see we can keep up maybe 10 points, 12 points, but after that you see the you see that the guys are professionals.
The boys are giving you a great time here behind the camera. We have a lot of Surinamese fans in our live chat,
yeah, I'd
by
like
the
to
way.
shout out to them too, for supporting us all the way here. So just like I said, we can keep up with these guys for 10, 12, 15 points, but after that you see the experience coming up with the other teams. So.
But even in that last match, you guys were down quite a bit in that third set, and you guys were able to crawl back in. I mean, you had them on the ropes there, even for that last point.
We started. The difference is we started to enjoy the volleyball here in the third set. We started to enjoy ourselves. We start making points, and that's natural. When you start making points, you start to believe that you can win the game, regardless the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Everything started to work out for us. We started to defend some balls. We started to score, and that's naturally that comes to us. The Cubans made a lot of errors too in the last set, so that helped us out.
But for you guys moving forward, you've played two of the toughest teams in the tournament so far. Are you excited about the prospects of playing other teams moving forward? Because, we've heard some other coaches say that maybe, and even your coach say that your goal is to win a set. We think that winning a match for you guys isn't outside of the realm of possibility.
I completely agree.
So the goal is we had two matches now with the top teams. So we have to face Puerto Rico after this. So that's the goal, There's a saying in our team that we don't pretty much focus on a match. We pretty much focus on a set. Just taking one set by a time, and then a second set, and then the third set, and that's the game. So we try to focus on this game, the Puerto Rico team. On paper, they're less than Cuba and the USA, of course. So that's where our focus is for tomorrow, to make a difference in that match and to get a set, 2 sets, or maybe the game itself.
Tell us about what this tournament means for Suriname volleyball to play at this level, to play against these teams on this stage, how significant it is for you and your team.
The guys, it was a real struggle getting here financially, of course.
Yeah.
So everybody back home, everybody that supported us to be here. So that's humongous for us. That's monumental for us to be in this Continental Games. The last 2 editions we missed because of finance. We were supposed to play also in the Continental Cup, the Pan Am Cup. That was 2 weeks or 3 weeks
in
ago.
Guadalajara.
Exactly. Yeah. So we couldn't attend that because financially we couldn't do that. We couldn't pull that off. But we're here now, so it's the first time in the Continental Games, and so far we're learning a lot, and we can bring this experience back home, and we know how the next level is for volleyball, where we have to be in Suriname.
Do you see that learning? Like, you guys have you're one of the older guys on the team, but you have quite a young squad. How important is for them to see that now, to be able to bring it back home and to the rest of the team as this team continues to grow?
So if I look at my own path before, I was in the same situation when I was 16 and joining the national team.
Okay.
And I was learning from all the older guys. We went to tournaments also. So if they keep following, if I am now in this position to play the Continental here, I guess if that guys take the same route or better, they could be, in a few years, they could bring Suriname to the World Cup itself if we keep trying to get on this level and on their road.
That would be an incredible journey to follow, and it really it started with winning 2 Caribbean games in a row, which is very impressive. But jumping up to a level like this and already impressing, I think most of this tournament has been very impressed by your team's level so far, and we know that it's only going to continue to increase. So congratulations. Thanks very much for great volleyball so far and for joining us. Anything else you want to tell the fans back home in Suriname?
You can see here on the chat, there's a few of them shouting out to you guys. So
Yeah, I'm seeing the comments. So I want to tell the guys that again, thank you for the support. You know, you guys know we're facing. This is a different kind of level of volleyball here, and we're giving it everything on the court. I hope you guys enjoy our game, our performance, and we'll try to get better every match. So that's the goal. Tomorrow we have Puerto Rico, so tune in, and we'll try and be better than the 2 games, and try to go for the win tomorrow.
Great.
And impress you guys a little bit more.
Hey, you've impressed us a lot so far. So
I know you can do a lot more. So it's gonna be interesting.
fair enough. Not only do you guys look good as a team, but you also look good on the court. Your jerseys might be some of the nicest. Are you guys going to be wearing the green and white jersey tomorrow, or are you going back to yellow and green?
I'm not sure yet, but probably that's one of my favorite.
That
jerseys.
white and
the
green
white one.
is really
That's a
good.
nice jersey.
Yeah, so yeah, that's impressive though. We can with our jerseys. We're favorites with our jerseys.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
We like to say that if you look good, you play good.
Yeah.
We believe that the teams with better jerseys sometimes have an advantage. So
Thank
you guys
so
are
much.
doing well with that.
Thank you guys
Kevin,
for having me.
Thank you, my friend.
Awesome.
Well,
Thanks a lot, man.
looking forward to talking to you again later in the week. All right,
Yeah.
man.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
guys for having me.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Awesome. Well,
That's so cool.
yeah.
That's so cool.
We'll definitely have to speak to them some more as it continues, because it's so great to be able to learn more about different volleyball cultures and how it's viewed and played around the world. You know, next time I even wanted to maybe get into it, like, what does it look like? You know, you've got like a pro team on your volley box.
Like, yeah,
Is that a pro team? Is it just a competitive team?
So
Like,
they were
how does
talking
that
about
work?
the Surinamese club league and like a couple of the guys playing for different teams. They have reigning champions and all these things. Like, I never had any idea. One thing that it makes me think is that if Suriname can have a club league, why on earth can't the United States? That is a different question. But
that's literally someone said ask him about professional volleyball.
next
so
time we talk to Kevin, and there will be a next time, we will ask him about that. So that was really cool. I'm excited that we got to talk to Kevin Sporkslade there. Yes, that is the first time we have interviewed a Surinamese volleyball player.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. This one as well, Rob. I've been editing the entire time. I've just been here being the passenger princess with the headset on. But we will be live in about 40 minutes. It says 36 minutes up on the clock up there. And time for Canada versus Mexico.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Get the Maple Volleys, get Mexico in action for the first time this week. We will see you guys then.